All right, fashion dolls, and we're back. We are back. We're going to start over with this interview with Kizzy. All right, let me add her back. Fashion dolls, smoothly this time. All right, and we're back.
Yes, finally. Thank you.
Perfect, and I can hear you 100% clearer. I was saying before I pause, the journey to who we got to know today, which is the beautiful woman that we see in the tattoo photos and things like that and such. Tell us how Kizzy began her journey.
Well, I mean, it wasn't an easy journey. It was really hard. I've always had a love for tattoos. I just never thought about telling my story on my body. I always thought about writing it or, you know, speaking at an event to like share my story. And then when I moved from Virginia to Atlanta and I met my tattoo artist, he kind of convinced me to try to tell my story, but on me. So, like I said, I always loved tattoos. I just never thought that I would take my story and have my body as my canvas until, I met him and he convinced me that, no matter what shape or form that I am, that I was beautiful and that you can be a model no matter whether you're small or big or medium
Yes.
size. It didn't matter, as long as you had the beauty within. And he saw the goodness within my heart. So he convinced me into doing it, and I did it. I ended up telling him my story, and he freestyled everything that's on me. He freestyled.
Okay, okay. And I love what you just said because I work in the beauty industry and I see women that are all shapes and sizes. Black women because we know that we are the most when it comes to this industry, we get ate up the most with
Hmm.
our body. If it's not our bodies, it's our hair. If it's not our hair,
Yeah.
it's our skin complexion. So I'm pretty
Yes.
sure you caught grasp of to the conversation that I had just last week with the 5 women panel. Um, yeah, we kind of talked about that image and colorism and body image and things like that and such. So we appreciate you for breaking the norms and barriers for women of color who want to become tattoo models as
Yeah.
well as tattoo artists or whatever, especially not just for tattoos but body image as well too. Because we
Yeah.
know again,
Because
as Black
I
women,
seen a plus
yeah,
size model, and I thought she was beautiful. I thought she was very beautiful, but I really, you know, I really had insecurities about the way I looked. So, it took me a while to actually learn to love myself, like love myself completely, to accept all my flaws and imperfections. So once I learned how to love all of me, there was no shame in my game. I didn't care if I about the little belly fat or the love handles. I put on a bodysuit and I worked it. And I wore it with my head held high. So, to have the tattoos all of me, when I go out, I go out, I show them. I put on my bodysuit, I put on my shorts, and I go out proudly. Whether I don't have that flat stomach, I love me, and I love the story that it tells. And I had a few people walk up to me and just was like, "Can you just stay still so I can read your story?" And I just stand there, and I stand there proud with my head held high because it feels good, to have people read my story, to know my story, to know what I've been through and what I've overcome and the things that I'm dealing with, emotionally. Um, I just buried a parent Monday, so you know,
sorry.
emotionally right now I'm really very still emotional, but I'm trying to hold it together to do this. But it's painful. It hurts, and when I get my tattoos, it shows, it tells the pain and the story and everything that I've been through.
100%. And again, my condolences goes to you and your family.
Thank
I know
you.
that losing a relative, or a parent is a hard pain that anyone has to have. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. So with this bravery and courageousness, what keeps you grounded? Because I'm pretty sure you've been through some times, and I know mental health takes the play on all of us, especially for us as Black people during this whole pandemic. We're being told we got to do this, we got to follow these guidelines. It's always something new. For you, what keeps you grounded? Because you seem so courageous.
What keeps me grounded is prayer. I pray a lot. My family has always been prayer warriors, and my grandmother has always been a praying person that prays. So, you know, what keeps me grounded and keeps my spirits the way that they are prayers and a good support group. I really, really, at first I didn't know anybody here, so it made me feel bad because I didn't know anybody. I really didn't have that support here because I have no family here. But to meet people, to work with people and people become family to you, they are my support. To have people call you and see how you're doing, if you're okay, to check on you, that's good friendship, good support. So
Yeah.
besides that, in prayer, I have a tremendous amount of people that pray for me, that welcomes me and who I am, because they say I have good spirits, and that alone. And then I have like two beautiful angels and my father watching over me. So um, I have a lot in prayer, and I believe in spirits, and my kids' spirits are always with me, and now my father's spirit is with me. So that will keep me grounded. But there are days that I do fall short. But when I fall short, I pray, and I pull it together, and I pull myself together, and I know I got this. It just sometimes I need to hear it. It's like I'm going to grasp onto it, but sometimes you just want to hear it. Sometimes you just want somebody to show you. So, I have people that'll call and be like, look, you got this. You've been through worse. Get up, get up, get up, get up and be great. So that makes me the person that I am today.
And it's good to have that support circle. We kind of touched on that briefly yesterday on the show when I had Tay on guest co-hosting with me. It's always about a great support circle around you 100%. And I'm a firm believer in prayer too, so I definitely can relate to you on that. What is your why? What is your why you do what you do?
Why I do what I do is because for one, it's me. It's who I am. It's what I love. I've always loved tattoos. I never thought that I would canvas my body. So I've seen lots of tattoo models. I've read magazine. So I've seen the beauty in the artwork. And to have that beauty on me, on top of the beauty that's inside of me, is an amazing feeling. It's absolutely an amazing feeling to walk around, to show who I am, and not be judged. That's I feel like I'm very misunderstood. People judge me before they know me, or they get a little piece of me and still judge without knowing the full me. But my heart is bigger than my body. I love hard. I I will go out my way for anybody. I will give my last, and you know, it's amazing. It hurts when people don't give me the same in return, but I gotta realize that sometimes it's not about them giving to you. It's about what you can do and still be great and amazing, and not have that anger or that frustration and take it out like just because they don't do it, I'm not supposed to do it, or I'm supposed to not do the next person the same because I've had that hurt before. But I still keep pushing, and I still hold on to prayer as always, and who I am. It's not in me to be bitter or nasty, no matter how many times somebody do me wrong or what they do to me. It's not in me to hold that anger or that evilness inside of me. because I'm to a point in my life where all I want is peace. That's all I want is peace. I don't want that negativity. You know, even though people do you wrong, at the end of the day, that's their karma. Because I'm blessed and highly favored, and I'm going to get my blessings at the end of the day, so I'm not going to worry about that. So that,
Right. And you know what else that comes down to? When people want to do evil to you, that's karma. That's God's karma. Because when you do something to somebody, it all comes back to you full circle. And I'm a firm believer of
I'm a firm
whatever you
believer
put
of
out.
that.
Yes, whatever you put out there in the universe is what you're going to get back full circle. So if you put out good energy, you're going to receive good energy abundantly and
Yeah.
rightfully so. If you put out bad energy, you're going to attract bad energy. And I've heard that expression plenty of times throughout my entire life. Like people will say, oh, well, be careful what you put out. Be careful what you dish out because sometimes you won't be able to take it. It come back to you and it will hit you so hard that you least expect it.
What you
So
reap, you sow.
absolutely, 100%. 100%, precisely. Because a lot of people think that when they do something to somebody, they can just get away with it. And then that conscience comes back to haunt them and eat them up at the end of the day. And you're just like, well, wow. Because trust me, we have conversations with ourselves. And
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a conversation with yourself, like saying, why did I do this? Even for me, when I'm done doing, Style by Stevie at the end of the show, there's certain things that I will go back and watch the episode and I'm like, man, I could have said that a little bit better. My delivery could have been a little bit better because that guilt will eat you up, girl. I'm telling you.
It will.
Like,
It really
yes,
will. Because it's been days that I question myself, like, why did I do that? When I know how this person is, and I know they did it before, but I still went on my way to do it. And then I have to think, like, at the end of the day, you're doing what you're supposed to. I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I'm doing what my heart is telling me. I'm doing what God is telling me. I'm doing what feels good to me. So at the end of the day, if they burn that bridge, that's on them. That's their karma to deal with. That's not mine. Because at the end of the day, whatever they took or have taken from me, God is going to replace it 10 times fold. I'm going to get it back, but even better than what I gave to you. So all you doing is
absolutely.
put me in a position to come up, not to go down.
And
So
people
that's
think
how
that
I
they're going
see
to
it.
be successful. Wait, praying on someone else's downfall or trying to make someone else's downfall work in their favor, it's not going to work in the favor. It can eventually come back to bite you, and people
Yeah.
need to realize that at the end of the day. So, speaking of negativity, how do you handle negativity? Because you seem so level-headed, so persistent, and we both are firm believers in God. So, how do you deal with negativity?
I don't. I don't no more. I did at one point in my life, but like I said, it takes a lot, and doing like self meditation and
Mm,
therapy and just taking time to find myself and find my inner peace. I try not to allow negativity in my home or in my life. Like if I come in contact with negativity, then I'll come home and I'll take a shower because I'm gonna wash it off of me. I'm gonna wash it
yeah,
off of me, and I'm gonna pray, and I'm gonna sage, and I'm gonna be like, just get it away from me. I don't want to be around it, but if I come into contact with you and off the bat you're negative, I'm gonna go left, and I'm gonna let you stay right, because I don't want to hear negativity. I want to be around good spirits. I want to be around positive people. I want to be around energy. I don't want to be around bad vibes. I got enough of that when I come home and close my door and when I close my eyes. I have enough darkness and evil things that I'm battling with. So I don't need to be out in the world and be around it when I'm trying to stay positive, because anything could take you away from here, especially dealing with mental illness and depression and
ooh,
anxiety and PTSD and bipolar disorder. I deal with all that. I suffer. I tell people I suffer, but I'm here. It's days that I feel like I fight myself daily to get up. It's a struggle. It's a battle to get up every day, but I do it. And I do it with my head held high. So, to go out and have negativity, I don't want to be around it. I don't want to be associated with it. If I feel the energy, I'm going the other way. So if you come up to me and be like, why, please leave me alone. The devil is a lie. Stay over there, because I'm not for it. I'm not for it.
And I love what you just said as well. You said that I cleanse myself. I'm the same way. I try to get the bad spirits and energy. I go in another direction. That's another thing you said. I'm the same way. I walk away from it. I've gotten to a point where it's just like not everything needs your attention or
Yeah.
response. Like stop feeding into it because once you give the person that power over you, you've given them food.
And it
And what I mean
consumes
by
you.
food is, yeah, it sure does. It consumes your mind. Stop allowing people to rent space in your head.
Yeah. It could
Stop
it,
allowing
it,
them to
it
rent
took a
space
while
in
for
your
me to learn, but because I would let people um interrupt my peace and interrupt my energy. So it took a while and a lot of therapy and talking to really stop allowing people to consume me and consume my energy and just let me be great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And even for me, growing up in this business, establishing a name for myself, I've realized that there's going to be people that are out here trying to compete with you. They're going to try to pit people against each other in this industry, in this business. And I say, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not. I support everybody, even the ones that I don't, just don't rock with. I don't see it for the ones that speak negatively or badly about me. I just don't give them that energy. I will not give them that energy. And the thing about it is, I realized that once you've gotten a certain part of your life, as you grow higher and higher and higher, not everybody is going to receive, not everybody's going to take that well. They're going to be negative about it. So
Yeah.
let everybody have their
the,
misconceptions
the
and
more
their
you
perceptions
grow
about
in spirit, the more angry they get because they feel like they can't bring you to their level. They have to be on you have to be on my level. I'm not going to go to your level anymore. But once they see that, they matter no more. They matter no more. And then the more you come up, the more they disappear from you. And the more it's nothing to me. It's nothing to me to not be bothered with at the end of the day. If I see you again, I will speak because I have manners. I was raised that way. I wasn't raised to not speak to nobody. I was raised to speak to people. So I will say, hey, how you doing? But after that, I'm going to keep going. You have a very nice day. I'm gonna keep it moving, and you keep it moving because I don't want to hear nothing negative. You already thought that I was gonna fall because what you was trying to consume my energy, but I didn't allow it. So I'm not gonna allow it later on in life neither. So if I see you, hey, how you doing? Wish you well. God bless you. Have a good day. And I'm gonna keep it moving because I'm already up here. I'm already high. You can't bring me back down no more. I've been at my low. And I would never allow anybody to get me that low again. I'm very high spirit now, and my spirits is gonna stay high. And I do fall short sometimes, especially I'm not a good person when it comes to dealing with death. I'm very bad when it comes to losing people that I love. I'm very emotional, but at the end of the day, I know that they're not suffering. They're in a good place. It just takes me a while to accept it. I'm not a real good person, but I have so many people that love me and know who I am, and they have my back and they really support me. That's what gets me up and gets me pushing because there's people out there that can't handle it and don't have no support, and they take their life. They take their life and they're not here no more because they don't have that support. And nobody understands how traumatic it is to suffer from an illness and not have no support at all. You're constantly in your head. You're constantly overthinking. You're constantly thinking the worst, and you're constantly feeling like nobody cares or nobody loves you until you really start to love yourself within. And you just got to pray. I pray. Trust me, I've broken down on my knees, cried to God in tears because I know He's going to hear me because I'm giving Him my soul at this point. But I have people that knows me and sees it in me, and they just there to uplift me every day, to get me going and stay focused and stay what I want as my dream and my goals. You know, you told us you want to do this, that you want to be on magazine, and you know, how you going to do that if you're not here? How you going to do that if you
Come
stay in
on.
this room? How you going to do that if you can't leave this house, or you can't go out that door and face the people? You know, how are you going to live your dream if you can't get up, get up, get up? So, you know, with their words and just me praying and getting myself up gets me through that door every day to open it up and be like, oh, it's so beautiful today. God is talking to me today. It's amazing today. Oh, it's absolutely wonderful today. I'm going to have an amazing day. I'm not going to let anybody in to steal my joy. And I just try to keep it that way. But it's hard. It's a struggle every day.
One of my favorite quotes is from Yala Van Zant, and it is, "We are women. Everything we do matters. I am not my sister's keeper. I am my sister." So you've mentioned something about mental health, especially for us being both Black women. We know that mental health is definitely an issue within the Black community, and not just with Black women as a collective, but within the Black community as a whole. We
Yeah.
don't talk about it enough. So I commend you for speaking on that and touching on that, because I spoke about it in the beginning of the interview. But for Black people, and I'm saying this for everybody that's watching, because the majority of my audience that watches Style by Stevie is African American. And I have some of other ethnicities as well, so we love you all also. But the main key ones are Black people, because when it comes to mental health, it's something that we continue to sweep up under the rug. We don't talk about it enough. And I'm glad you've mentioned uh, people taking their lives, because Regina King lost her son to S. And we also lost Chelsea Grace as well too.
It's
So
very real. But like when I was growing up, people laughed at, you know, it took a while for me to talk about my mental illness because people laughed at it. They took it as a joke, or they looked at you like, you know, something was wrong with you. You know, so for a long time I was ashamed to even tell anybody, because I would think that if I said anything, that that's how they was gonna, you know, they was gonna assume that I was this way, instead of getting to know me and know who I am. Yes, it's something that I did. It took me a while to start talking about it, but once I did start talking about it, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed that I have this illness, you know, because I feel like this: before the illness controlled me, it doesn't. I control it.
come on.
Mental illness doesn't control me anymore. I control it. So it doesn't make who I am. I'm an amazing person. And when I didn't understand it, I did go through a lot of trials and bumps, because I was young. I had it at a young age. I didn't understand it. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't adjust to it. I didn't know what was happening to me. I started to believe what people were saying. Oh, you crazy, or you just retarded. You know, you don't know no better. You know, you just a delinquent. You know, but I was dealing with mental illness and not knowing how to deal with it. But as I got older and started doing therapy, and just more therapy, and staying into therapy, and then just being around other people that deal with it. And then also I listened to a lot of Kevin Gates, which he talks about depression. So once I started listening to him and how open he was about his depression and his anxiety and the things that he went through, I related to him on so many levels. That's why he's always been my go-to, because I'm not ashamed no more. And I'll tell you, I suffer. I suffer, but that doesn't determine who I am. If you know me, then you would know I love hard. I'm a good friend. You know, my illness doesn't control me. I control it. You know, I'm older now. I'm wiser, you know. So I have no shame in putting it out there that I suffer. I suffer. I do suffer. I suffer.
And we appreciate your bravery for putting it out there as well too, and being transparent. And transparency is what, we're here about it, Style by Steve. So for those of you who are watching, we're going to give you some information to contact someone about prevention. So the number is 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Please reach out to someone. There's people out here that you can talk to. You can talk to me. You can talk to Kizzy. You can
You
talk
can
to
definitely
anyone.
call me anytime because I know how it feels to not have nobody to talk to. It can be 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and your mind is just somewhere else and you can't get it
Yes.
together, and you don't want to call the
Go there.
hotline. Sometimes you want to hear a Cameron voice, a voice of peace and at ease, and that can understand you and really listen to you. That's all we need, is somebody to listen. I'm here to listen. You can call me anytime. I'm gonna answer my phone because I don't get tired.
And think. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me see. You're a queen, boo. You speaking the truth. People used to make fun of me because I'm a BBW, but I owned it and start loving myself. They don't know my story, but you're amazing, queen. Absolutely. Hey, Nisha. Good morning. Good afternoon, darling. Welcome to the dollhouse. See how many women you're inspiring just by this conversation alone. Both of us are inspiring women that are watching this interview. And again,
And I
you
love
know,
to inspire women because there's nothing wrong with loving yourself. For a long time, I
absolutely.
always looked at magazines and thought, well, I don't
You
have
have to
that
look a
body. I
certain
don't
way.
have that shape.
Right.
So I have to be in shape to be on a magazine. No, you do not. You just have to love yourself and know that the inside of you is the real beauty. It's not the outside that the beauty comes from. It's the inside that the beauty comes from. You have to love yourself from within. And then you love all your flaws and imperfections. I love all my flaws and imperfections. And I may not have no Coca-Cola bottle shape, but honey, I wear it. I wear what God gave me, and I wear it good. And ain't no shame in it. Ain't no shame in it. Love yourself. I love myself. I don't care what people say. They can call me whatever. But what you can't say is you can't see the beauty when I sit there and walk outside with my head held high. You can see the beauty in me. You can see it in the glow that I replicate, like when I walk out, that the smile on my face, the jokes that come out of my mouth. You see all that. You gotta love yourself. You really gotta love you. You can't expect for somebody else to love you. You have to start with you first.
And a lot of women, we battle with that. So I'm glad that body image is being talked about because a lot of getting these BBLs and all of these things to themselves. And it's just like appreciate the beauty that God has given you within. You are beautiful. So every day I post something on my page reminding the dolls, you all are beautiful. You
Yeah.
all are beautiful. Man, woman, you're beautiful. I use myself as the example because throughout my childhood, I've been bullied a lot and I've been told, for being a a woman of a darker hue, that oh you're not attractive. But then as the years progressed on and I've gotten this platform, people kind of see me blossom out of my shell just a little bit
You're
and
beautiful.
unveil,
You're
thank
very
you,
beautiful.
and unveil into this whole new person. And I'm just like, wow, it took all of this for you to finally notice the beauty that I had within. I've had it all along.
Yeah,
So
and I,
we
I
all
had to
have that
fight
beauty.
people because they thought, oh, you're light skinned, you conceited, you think you better. No, I never saw myself as that way because that's not how I was raised. I wasn't raised to think that I was prettier or I was better, or I never had anybody. I'm a tomboy. I'm a tomboy, but I do dress myself like, the makeup, the lashes. I do, but
Right.
sometimes I wipe all that off, and this is who I am. I'm a tomboy, So I never had anybody to push me to say, "Oh, you're beautiful. You need to do this." But a lot of people thought because I was so yellow, and they were like, "Well, you're mixed with." As soon as you tell them that you're mixed, they want to. Oh, it doesn't matter what I'm mixed with. I'm still black. I'm still a black woman, and I'm proud of who I am on both sides of my family. I love both sides of me. That means God blessed me enough to give me two cultures, to learn different things on one side and one thing on the other side. So I embraced that, but I put it as one, and I accepted. But I was always, got into fights because people thought I was conceited because I was yellow, because I was bright. And they always thought that, oh, she thinks she know. I don't. I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised like that.
Right.
I wasn't raised to see color at all. Because if you see my
And,
family, it's a whole lot of race in my family. We don't discriminate and we don't judge. We take you in as family.
and you know what? I forgot my point that I was just about to say. This is I read something. Angela Rye. She posted something on her page, and she said 2022 things that Black women are tired of hearing. And one of the things I kind of chuckled. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at what you said because I spoke on that when we did our women's panel just last week. Things that Black women are tired of hearing, which is the angry Black woman narrative. And one of them is when a man is trying to approach us or talk to us, they say, "Oh, well, she looks exotic. What are you mixed with? Are you mixed with something?" I've gotten that before from men in Nigeria. So I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. They wouldn't have thought that I was an American girl born down here, born and raised in South Carolina. But they thought I was actually mixed with something. So I kind of laughed at it. I'm like, I'm a Black woman. I don't know what I'm mixed with. I mean, I have to go to ancestry.com and find out all that other stuff. But all you need to know is that I'm a Black woman, period.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's offensive to some Black women. Like, you got to be mixed with something. If you look a certain way,
Yeah, if
they
your
think
hair texture
automatically,
is curly,
yeah.
they always assume. And then the way I talk, I was told that, you got to be mixed with something because you don't sound Black. I didn't know Black had a sound. I really
Oh,
didn't know Black had a sound.
that
So
was
they
one
was
of the
like,
things on
"Oh,
the
are
list
you from
too.
Louisiana?"
Mhm.
No, I'm from here in Virginia. I'm from Virginia. You know, so it was always, "Oh, your hair is so good. What is you mixed with? Does it matter? Does it matter? Does me being mixed really? You're not going to accept me until I tell you what I'm mixed with. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm still Black."
And you know what it all boggles down to? Preference. The beauty industry and preference and pressures on what society sees as beautiful for Black women. Because we know that we are the most oppressed. We know that we face the most challenges. You know, your hair texture, microaggressions. I'm glad you talked about that because Alexandria mentioned that. That was one of the talking points on the panel. She said, I have my hair is nappy just like any other woman, you know, Black woman out here. We still have to go to the hair salon and use certain products on our hair and get the kinks out and things like that and such. It, she made an excellent point. She summed it up very, very well. That's microaggression. That's texturism.
Yeah.
And we know that if you got a 4C hair texture or a 4A hair texture, they're quick to discriminate against that. If your hair is bone straight or it's like how I'm wearing mine today, they'll have something to say about it. But if a white woman does, oh, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay for them to do it. But for us to, as Black women, to not even celebrate our texture, our hair texture, what the part of what makes us a Black woman, which is our hair, our crown and glory, is such a problem for them. So I mean, what is good hair? What is good skin? What is a good Black woman? Period. It's like be damned if you do, be damned if you don't.
Yes.
So body image is one thing, texturism is one thing, and we've seen how women, Black women will go to certain jobs, and it is like, oh no, we won't hire you because of your hair. I mean, coming with my natural hair, my natural curl pattern, my natural curl texture. But thank God for the Crown Act because the Crown Act in I think New York and other states as well too states that people can wear their hair, both men and women can wear their hair however they want to. And for me, that's why I tease you guys every Friday, and I say, okay, I give y'all 5 different women this week because every different hairstyle is something new. I wear it up, I wear it down, short,
Down.
long. So yeah, that's what I want to inspire women to do is because Black women, we are so versatile. We don't stay the same.
We
That's the
don't. We have different characters. We can become different characters. So
absolutely.
it's like we can be anything. We can do so much.
And be versatile with it and have fun. Because I mean,
Yes.
we don't like staying consistent. We don't like being the same person. And I don't know even for if we've got boyfriends, husbands, or whoever, they get bored of it too. The good thing is they won't go see another woman. That we're the other woman. We can be that other woman for them and transform with different looks, different
Yeah.
hairstyles, things like that. Experiment. And that's what the versatility of being a black woman is, knowing what you want to do with your hair. So me, I'm a hair girl. I love changing up hairstyles. I'm always posting inspiration, but that's texturism. We were going to get into a little bit of body image, which I'm glad you opened Pandora's box to talk about, because it's a lot of women out here getting these BBLs. And thank God for K. Michelle. She did her documentary, My
Yeah,
Killer Body, which is out on Lifetime. If you guys have not seen it, please go and see it. I've seen some of these women's stories. It's just like, wow. It's the pressures of what society sees as what a good body is.
yeah.
What is a good body?
And
Is
see,
it a perfect size 4, a perfect size 2? The beauty standards have changed.
yeah, it really has. And being in Atlanta, you know, a lot of surgery goes on here. A lot of people get it here. And,
Yes.
sometimes it'll get in your head after seeing so many people. Well, maybe I should get one. But the thing that if I really want a body like that, I can work for it. I don't have to. I've been in a situation where I've had multiple surgeries because of a bad accident. So I don't like being put to sleep. I don't want to go through the feeling of being put under. And I feel like if I really want my body to look like that, I can work on it by working out and having a having people support me to push me and motivate me to work out and keep going to do it naturally. Naturally is the only healthy way of doing it. So I did do it. I put my body to the test, and I did eat. I still eat healthy, work out constantly, and I lost the weight. But I did it because I wanted to show myself that I could do this if I really wanted to. If I wanted to have a nice shape or a nice body, not saying that I don't have one, but if I really wanted to be fit, I could do it. And I had to show myself that I could do it. So I did it. But now that I've done it, it's not, I want to be who I am now. I love all of me. I love all of me. The love handles, the jiggly stomach, all
Come on.
that. I love all of me. So, if I wanted to be like that, then I would, but that's not me. That's not what I want to do. I want to stand for something. You see models in magazines that have flat stomachs and they have nice stuff on. Well, you can be plus size and put on something sexy too, honey. Because trust me, I always stay in something sexy. And I ain't no zero. I'm not no zero.
Girl, girl, listen. I'm glad you said what I was thinking, because the first thing that came to my mind was the Victoria's Secret fashion shows. We know the Victoria's Secret, when they would do their fashion shows, you would see the models that would, I mean, have these girls would train hard. And I'm just like, I would sit there and watch the shows, and I'm just like, my body is not going to look like that. These
Yeah.
women are gorgeous, don't get me wrong. But one thing they did, and I'm glad they got caught for it, was, every year, back in the day, they would do the fantasy bra that's valued at least $1 million,
Hmm.
with diamonds and Swarovski. One model who's related to K Toops, who's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
K Toops, shout out to him, the K Toops spot. Jasmine Toops. She wore the Emerald Diamond Fantasy Bra, and this was back in, I think, 2016, one of these years. They did the unretouched photo. She had some stretch marks on her legs, some marks on her legs, and they did the unretouched photo. It was beautiful. I said, "But she's beautiful. Her body is banging, but yes, show this, show the imperfection." And I know for us as women, we complain about, stretch marks, cellulite. I know for me, it's cellulite. I hate it. I hate this little bit of arm. And I'm just like, I wish I could get rid of it. But I've just learned to embrace it.
Brace it.
Embrace it. And I say this to a lot of women. Spend one moment. I've seen something. I was reading Cosmopolitan, and Neutrogena, it was Neutrogena, and they was doing advertising. Y'all know the rain bath all back in the
Hmm.
day. Um, the rain bath. Uh, they said spend 1 hour in the mirror nude, and that will show you to appreciate the beauty that God has given you. And I've done it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other women have done it. It's liberating,
Yeah.
because
And
even
I
for
still I
mothers
still
out
do
there,
it.
yeah, for
I'm
mothers
always
out
in the
there,
mirror naked looking at myself, and I be like, "Ooh, honey, you look
makeup
good."
queen, no hair, nothing. And
Yeah.
I've done that before. And even for mothers out there, I know for women who have given birth to children, that it's like I don't feel sexy. I've got these stretch marks, I feel tired. I feel,
Stretch marks
I,
make you sexy.
yes, you brought life into this world.
I
So
feel like the stretch marks are like my tattoos. They tell a story. So
mm,
there's nothing to be ashamed of a stretch mark. It tells a story.
yes, it's a lot of mothers that don't feel sexy, and I think this is my thing right here. You could be a mom and be sexy after just giving birth. You are a goddess. You are a warrioress to bring life into this world. Women, we are the life givers. Period.
Yes.
There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So for you to say I'm not sexy, that really hurts me for mothers out here to say this now. I don't feel sexy. And sometimes it takes a man, not really a man. Sometimes every now and again it takes a man, but sometimes it takes yourself, that self-love. But even for the married women and that have husbands and that have boyfriends out here, they want that reassurance from them, like, am I beautiful? Do you think I'm beautiful? And sometimes the men, if they really, really truly love you and appreciate you, they will be honest with you and tell you yes. And the most love, the person that's going to be honest with you the most is your mom. Your mom is always going to tell you you're beautiful. So you don't need that validation sometimes
You
from a
don't need it
man.
from
But if,
anybody. Because
yeah,
I tell my best
absolutely.
friend all the time, and she was like, "Oh, I want to find a man." I was like, at the end of the day, honey, I love you. I love you. At the end of the day, you're in love. It may not be the love that you want, but you're loved. So accept that and embrace that, and then after that, it'll come to you. But you got to love yourself in order for it to come to you. You don't need
Absolutely.
nobody needs validation from anybody. As long as you love yourself, the validation is already there.
100%, 100%. And a lot of women feel as though I'm not good enough. They struggle with self confidence, lack of self confidence after, just having a child or different things like that, things that they've experienced throughout their childhood. That trauma haunts them, and they're just like, I don't feel beautiful enough. I don't feel validated. I don't feel appreciated. The beauty starts within. The beauty starts within you.
Yeah.
So when we talk about these flaws, these imperfections, whether it's a stretch mark, whether it's a dark spot, whatever it is,
A
um,
mole, whatever.
yeah, beauty marks. Even though I don't have one in some of
I
my
have
pictures,
them.
I
I
would,
have them all over my
yeah,
face. I have moles everywhere, but I love them. I feel like they're my imperfections. That's why I say I'm a perfect imperfections. I'm perfect, but I have flaws. I have good days and I have bad days. I'm not completely perfect, but I am perfect.
absolutely. And Uh, shout outs to Sierra. Sierra said, I'm not going to put pressure on myself and on my body to bounce back. Because, it's a lot of pressure on women after they give birth, after pregnancy.
Yeah.
They've done it to Sierra, Beyonce, uh, Amber Rose, any other woman that has given birth to a child to have pressure to bounce right back into having that, after post pregnancy body. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, you don't. Sierra said this, I'm not going to force myself to do anything I don't want to do with my body. I'm not going to put enough pressure on my body. And even for men struggle with body image too. You'd be surprised. And it's the things, they don't really talk about it, but men struggle with body image as well too. And
Absolutely.
again, yeah, they're starting to open up more, and they're just like, okay, she wouldn't date a. For me, and I've gotten asked this question: what type of man would you date? I don't care if the guy is on the heavy side. If as long as you got this right in here, you got a good heart.
Yeah.
That's all that matters to
That's
me.
all
And
that
I'm,
matters. And that's how
yeah,
I feel too. It doesn't matter how you look or how old you are or if you're in shape or out of shape or don't have no shape. As long as your heart is pure, I'm all for that. I'm all for
absolutely.
it. As long as your heart is pure.
And I hope you guys are taking some gems from this interview right here, because this is empowering and people need to hear this, because I've seen so many horror stories about women getting these BBL weight loss surgeries and things. I know
Yeah. And then
my
they go
mom,
wrong. I've
yeah,
seen pictures and was like, oh my God, you should have got a refund. Like, why did you do that? It's just I really think there's a lot of pressure into getting these BBLs, but if you really want to lose the weight, call me. We can go to the gym, we can walk, we can do whatever to get
The
it
old
in.
fashioned way. I'm
Yes,
telling you.
the good old fashioned way, hard work instead of spending money on doctors for all this unhealthy procedure that's going to hurt you in the long run. It's going to come back. K. Michelle made that very clear after, the problems that she
She
was
had to
having.
get her, yeah, she said that her behind, she literally had to get it reduced because it was weighing on her legs. And she's like 4 foot 11. I'm 5 foot 7, so I'm a giant. I'm a tall, statuesque, curvy girl. So yes, K Michelle is like 4'11. See, I can imagine all of this weight on her little legs. So I mean, it's the horror stories of it.
Yeah,
We want that. I tell you the perfect ideal body that women really want, and it's that Beyonce or J Lo, Jennifer Lopez looking body where it's curvy. You got a nice derriere, nice arched out back. And even for Janet Jackson, people went in on her. She's in her 50s. Oh, she gave birth, and oh, she gained the weight. I think Janet is beautiful
yeah,
regardless. I'm like her face. She still has her beauty mark. She still
yeah.
looks the same.
She looks
Vocal ability is
amazing.
still the same. And I'm like, why are y'all? She did an interview with the Lord magazine, and people were like, oh, we noticed the weight gain. This woman just gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, Issa. So what? Why are y'all going in so hard? What?
Yeah,
Why? Where's all the smoke? Why are y'all going in on Janet? Because they wanted when she did the photo, the iconic Rolling Stones photo. That's what people want to see. But people change over the years. Their
yeah,
body change over the years. We do not stay the same.
yeah.
Even for me, I mean, unless you Angela Bassett or somebody, and you stay in the gym 24/7, you
Seven.
either Angela Bassett or Jada Pinkett Smith, and you stay snatched for the rest of your life. I mean, it is a lot of pressure. But like
But that's
Kizzy just said,
determination. What Angela
yeah,
Bassett does, because she really works out. She don't go have surgery. She actually
she
puts in
goes
the
in.
work.
She's a beast.
She puts in the work. So I listen to her interviews all the time and her documentaries, and I love it because she really actually does the work. She doesn't go get surgery. She does the work.
Michelle Obama is another one too. They would
Yes.
talk about how toned her arms were. Serena Williams is another one. These women stay in shape.
Yeah.
And in the black community, we know that diabetes, high blood pressure, all of these things, we have to take that in consideration as well too. So if you're gonna go out here and you're gonna get one of these BBLs or whatever, you make sure this is a decision that you really want to follow through with. Because sometimes it can go well, sometimes it doesn't work out in your favor. So please be aware of that. Make sure that if you're going to go out here and get any sort of operation or surgery, that this is what you want to do. So please take heed to that. I'm telling you, because the results in the end, you're going to regret it. You can either regret it or love it.
Yep.
And you could be on the next episode of My Killer Life, My Killer Body, because there's a lot of pressure on society. We flip through magazines and we see what the perfect things look like. And I heard someone say this in an interview. Yes, they airbrush or retouch up photos. We got so many filters and things we can work on. I use filters sometimes um, when I'm taking my photos because you got the beauty lighting, you got all of these things. When you're wearing makeup or hair, you want to enhance that.
Yeah.
So that's what it's for. That's what those things are for. Don't change, not to change your appearance, but that's what the sole purpose of it is for. So, I see a lot of people going out here and photoshopping things, but I'm just like, leave it unretouched. You're
Yeah.
perfect just the way you are. Just the way you are.
Exactly.
So yeah. It is almost 4 o'clock, you guys, and you guys know who is coming up next. We have actor and model romance. I'm super excited about that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 3:58. So I'm going to let Kizzy close out and conclude this great girl talking conversation with some final words. What advice would you give to young women who are looking to become models and not just tattoo models, but models in general?
For the people that the advice that I would give is love yourself. Love yourself, and no matter what shape, size, or color, or not, none of that matters. It's how you feel. Embrace it, love it, and hold your head up high when you do it, and do it proudly. Like own it, like you own it. Because that confidence right there is going to have the world looking at you.
Absolutely. 100%. Thank you, Kizzy. Let everyone know where they can follow you.
You can follow me on IG at tattedqueenk or simply Kizzy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, romance is here. I'm going to switch over and start a new live, and we're going to get right into this interview, ladies and gentlemen. Make
Thank you
sure
for
you guys follow
having
my
me.
girl, Kizzy. You are so welcome, girl, and you're welcome to come back to the dollhouse anytime.
Okay, I will.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Have a good
Kizzy,
day.
make sure you guys follow her. Take care, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.